Gentlemen, do I got some value for you guys today? If you're new to the channel, I pack crazy value into my gym experience. I go to the gym every day. I'm super locked in on my diet. I don't say this to brag, but if you don't know what to expect, sit back, take notes on what I say, listen, and expect to learn a little something. Because what I want to talk about today is almost settling a debate. It's going to be a little bit different than my other mindset based. You guys know I'm a coach, and a lot of people, want to work with me and all that, and that's what this content is for too. But today I want to settle something that's more in the nitty gritty of like what's actually most optimal for getting in shape, and that is bulking and cutting actually worth it? What science backs it up? What's worked for me as a natural lifter to, be shredded? I'm relatively shredded. I'm about 12% body fat, but still be 195 plus pounds. A lot of the advice you get on here is going to be from people who are enhanced or people who haven't actually done it themselves, like these science-based lifters and shit. You don't want to listen to them. I'm an actual big dude. I'm over 6 feet tall. I got really wide shoulders, and a lot of people want to look like me. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because I want to be real with you gentlemen, because I want to teach you something. And I want to have a good debate in the comments as always. But the reason that I'm qualified to say this is because recently I've had to get in immensely better shape for a photo shoot in Los Angeles for some gym clothing, and for my Instagram as well, that I have coming up next week, right? Actually in 7 days from now exactly, next Saturday. And I've needed to end my winter bulk early to shred down for this photo shoot. Typically I don't get in shape until summer, or in great, peak shred until summer, but now I need to do it as of, April. So what did I do? What worked? What doesn't work? Now, the first thing I want to say is anybody who tells you that you never should cut, or you never should bulk, or you should cut first, you should bulk first, when people tell you absolutes, these things that you must do this, you must do that. People and coaches only say that to try to make themselves sound more valuable. Because if there's no alternative to their solution has more value in nature. It's almost a manipulation tactic to get them to seem on a pedestal, get them to seem higher up, like they have some knowledge you don't. Now, as a coach and as somebody who's mastered getting in shape naturally, I do have some knowledge a lot of people don't. But I'm also not saying that exactly what I believe is 100% right for everybody, because it's different for everybody. But what I am going to say is that cutting is absolutely necessary for anybody who's not at the body fat that they want to be at. My advice to anybody, because the goal is to look good. I believe most people work out to look better, to feel more confident, to feel the endorphins running through their body. Anybody who says, I just do it to be healthy. Bullshit. If you just did it to be healthy, you would change your diet way before you ever changed your activity level. You would just walk a little bit more. Okay? Packing on as much muscle as possible isn't necessarily health. And people debate what's harder, bulking, cutting, what should you do? My advice to anybody, if you do not know whether you should bulk or cut or this, that, and the other, my advice to you is to get to the point where you can look good the quickest. 95% of people, that would mean to cut fat first. Let me explain why. You must cut fat first if you've never been able to do that and actually control, manipulate your weight. If you're not aware, I can, and a lot of people, not just me, can manipulate their weight. I can, if you told me, Tanner, you got to lose 10 pounds of pure fat in 4 weeks, you got to do it, and I'll give you $1 million. No fucking problem. No problem. I'd do it for $10,000. No problem. Tanner, you got to gain 10 pounds of, without getting too fat in 6 weeks. No problem. No problem. And it wouldn't be that hard either way. For most people, that's damn near impossible. Most people haven't lost a pound or went down on the scale, even though they've been trying to for 10, 15 years. They have kids who fucking depend on them, and they're still not achieving their goals. They can't play with their own sons and daughters because they don't have the energy because they're too fat. Okay? Most people cannot fucking do that. Now, you must cut first. You must understand what it's like to reprieve yourself of calories, of energy, before you give yourself the benefit of the added energy, the added glycogen, the added strength of a caloric surplus or maintenance. The reason that is also is because if you do not have visible abs, it's going to be harder and harder to benchmark where your physique actually is, especially on a bulk. If you start a bulk at 14% body fat and you can like kind of see your top 2 abs, but not really, and then you bulk to 20% body fat, you're not gonna look that much different, but you're gonna have that much more fat to lose when it comes time to get shredded. It's easier to just fucking spiral out of control if you don't have that benchmark of visible abs. So my advice is always restrict yourself, get down to the point, learn what it's like to diet, and get down to the point where you are shredded. Like you've seen like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Like everybody knows that. Everybody thinks, you know, like I think he's pretty small in that. He's probably 150 pounds or so, but he's so shredded that he looks good anyways. Getting shredded is a much easier, much shorter time constraint than building muscle. You know what I'm saying? So if you get shredded first and get to that benchmark where you have abs, now when you're bulking, you know, say you get abs by March, or not March, let's say May, you have abs. Now when you're bulking, you can slowly bulk to the point where, I'm going to keep this 6-pack until September, October area, right? And you get to the point throughout the summer where you're in that surplus, as long as you're not losing weight or losing your abs, an easy benchmark, you could step on the scale and look in the mirror and know if you're on track. And you track your calories a bit to kind of just see where your macros are, make sure they're in a surplus. It's super easy to know you're getting your muscle in and you're not wasting fucking workouts. Simpler, the better. Simple maxing. If your abs are still there, you're hitting the gym 5 times a week and going till failure, you're in a slight caloric surplus, and you're not losing weight, you are making optimal progress, the greatest possible progress, if that's happening. If you don't have abs, you could be fucking putting on 2% body fat a week for all you know, because it's kind of hard to tell. Months will pass by and you'll kind of look at your face, you're like, oh shit, you know, I'm looking a little chunky nowadays, what the fuck's going on? You don't have that when you can look in the mirror. You pull your shirt up, right? You can't see because I can't get that high, but you pull your shirt up and you're like, okay, boom. My abs are getting a little fluffy. Let me take my calories down just a little bit for a couple weeks. Boom. Now you're back. Now you're right back on track. But I will say, I said you need to get that cutting out of the way first. But I will also add, bulking is not much easier. You guys need to understand a principle in fitness and in life in general, but especially in fitness, as I start my car here to start driving home. And that principle is the grass is always greener on the other side. When you're cutting, you're gonna wanna bulk. When you're bulking, you're gonna wish you cut longer. Grass is always greener. Let me explain. When you're cutting, you're gonna say to yourself shit like, oh man, like, I wish I could just eat these whole eggs. You know, I don't wanna separate the egg whites, it's more expensive, this, that, the other. When you're bulking, you're gonna say, damn, like, this is a lot of food, man. It's kind of actually hard to get all these calories in. You're gonna have to fucking, like, shit, you're gonna have to wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and slam some fucking olive oil because you do not want to go in a deficit when you're bulking. You want to take that shit serious. Like, sometimes you're gonna have to do shit either way, and it's always gonna make the other side of the totem pole of the spectrum seem like it's better, and you have to understand that. So this isn't me saying, oh, cut first because it's so much harder, then enjoy the bulk. No, cut first because you're going to be lower energy. It's a different kind of hard. It's more physically hard, whereas bulking is more mentally tough. You have to eat a lot. Sometimes you're going to feel full. You're going to be like, "Oh, I'm in a surplus. I can kind of skip the gym today." When in reality, they're both about equally as hard. You understand what I'm saying? But you will look better faster if you cut first and be able to maintain that with more efficiency with your eyes, the number one, you know, scale of how you're perceived, your eyes. What do you look like? What are people thinking about you when they see you? Do that shit first, okay? And then once you've mastered that, once you've mastered the ability, understand that you don't have to go to these crazy extremes. I'm somebody who will bulk, and my bulking isn't a dirty bulk. Very, very lean bulk, 10 months out of the year. I start in about October, right before Halloween, and I bulk until March 1st. I'll do a mini cut of about 6 weeks, which I'm almost at the end of now. I'm already down 15 pounds of fat. Abs are back. Face is skinnier. You can go look at my video from 2 months ago. You can see it. I'm sure you can see it right away. I post every day. Even my clients are like, dude, you're looking lean. You're looking leaner, dude. You're getting leaner along with me. And that's why people hire me, by the way. If you want to actually talk to me and maybe get in the program or see what we can do, you want to actually change your life, first link in the description, me and you can call one-on-one. I take my own sales calls. I'm not too Hollywood to do that shit. Anyways, though, there's plenty of free value in this video. Just keeping it a buck. You're going to have a much easier process, a much easier win, because something that happens as soon as you start the cut as well is you're going to lose 5 pounds in like 2 or 3 days. All the glycogen, the water's going to flush out. You're going to look a little bit leaner. It's going to be that easy win. And trust me, lifting up your shirt and not seeing the love handles, 3 days in, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like, this is amazing. Let me fucking stick to this for 6 weeks or so. And then what I do is I maintain throughout the summer, get the scale up a little bit. Maybe I'll cut down just a little midsummer to keep the abs good. But boom, 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 boom. I'm back up by about October. I'm a little fluffy. I'm a little bit fluffy. So I'll cut down for a few weeks to get kind of that to where I can bulk for 3 months and still not lose my abs. And then I'll bulk throughout the winter. The old Christmas bulk. The old Christmas turkey, ham, fucking sweet potato pie, casserole, Thanksgiving, New Year's, drinking, all that shit. And then guess what? Right back on my horse in the spring. This is the best way to be able to eat whatever the hell you want. The best way to actually enjoy your life, make it part of your identity without fucking hating your life and actually getting good results, having a six-pack, looking good year round as a natural athlete. And that's what I've done. If you don't believe me, check out my Instagram. Look at my posts all throughout the year. Look at my reels all throughout the year. I'm always in shape. Sometimes I'm more, bigger, wider than the others when I'm bulking. Sometimes I'm more lean and shredded. That's the reality, but I'm always big. I'm always a big dude. I got wide shoulders. You're going to have wide shoulders. You're going to look good. People are going to compliment your physique. And you're going to feel good while you're doing it because you're always moving towards something. Yeah, you got depression. You're not confident. Work towards a goal. Give yourself a program where you're always working towards something and see how fast that shit fades away. That's just a bonus. As always, thank you guys for watching. Plenty of free value there. If you want, check out my other videos. I post damn near every day, at least 5 times a week. I got some crazy LA content coming up. Travel, dieting tips, it's going to be crazy. I had this shit planned out to a science. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be entertaining and educational. I love you guys. God bless. Hey, it's almost Easter. He is risen tomorrow as the day of recording. So God bless Jesus Christ for dying for our sins as well. I like to add that in there. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Implement what I said. Get to work. See y'all later.